I am so scared of average, of living an average lifestyle, of having an average amount of freedom, of having average relationships, of having an average amount of energy. People are fucking sleeping. Hey familia, just a quick disclaimer for the video. As I'm just finishing the last touches, I realize this video may not be for everyone. This is not for people that get butthurt with just a couple of bad words. It is not for people that just want to laugh and have fun. There's a lot of people that are very talented on TikTok, on Instagram, even on YouTube that will give you a lot of those. This is a video on passion. So hope that you enjoy it. Hope that you get some action out of this. And just before we get started the video, look at me a couple of years ago, just proving my point. Look at this guy. This is March 2021. Look at this guy. I've literally had to just totally redefine myself. So let's go. Welcome to this video. Lads, what's up, familia? This is Arnau here. I'm making a new video today with a very clear intention. Today I am aiming to share with you a little bit of my story, where I come from, who I am, who I've been in the past, the whole change that I've done. I've literally just transformed myself over the last couple of years, going from someone who was addicted to food, lacking confidence, addicted to daily use of weed, partying, being a bartender, working night shifts in supermarkets, to now working in sales with the idea of totally solving any financial issues that I have and living out of my passion, working very clearly towards physical mastery, and specifically sharing with you what is my intention with this channel. Like, why am I making these YouTube videos, and why, if any or everything of what I share resonates with you, you feel inspired and you feel like there's truth and there's a resonance into the things that I share and the things that you're living, so that you not just subscribe, but that you become an active participant in this journey. I invite you to my journey. I invite you to write to me. I invite you to just share with me what your journey is, how I am in any ways impacting you, and then potentially to invite me as well by inviting my words and my thoughts into your journey, so that it inspires you in a journey of power. Power. What is power? Well, we'll dive into it as we go through the video. So, who's Arnau? Arnau, right now, this person that you see here, I haven't always been like this. English is not even my first language. I am initially Catalan. I was born probably just like you. I was born about this size in Barcelona in June 18th, 1999. I was so lucky that I always had the love of my parents, who are no longer together. Such a classical thing that I want to avoid in the future. I think that it's way too common that people divorce. Let's not get into this too much, but I just feel like people lack continued and maintained sexual desire for each other. And that's probably the main thing that happens. And second of all, that people just lack the responsibility, not just for themselves, but also towards other people, to commit themselves to make their relationship work by working on themselves. But had a lot of love for my family. However, when I was a kid, I did not have the love for my friends, which, I felt like I was being bullied at the time. We were all just kids. They weren't treating me well. And essentially that led to a huge lack of confidence in myself. I always thought I was fat. I probably was. I always thought I was unattractive to girls. I was lacking so much confidence, guys. I have no idea all the opportunities that I lost. But those insecurities, I do realize now that they're a necessary part of the journey. They're not enemies, they're not challengers, they're teachers, right? That invite you to become better with the girls, that invite you to become better at making friends, that invite you to just solve those insufficiencies so we can get better. But at the time, I just lacked a lot of confidence. In fact, body was a huge issue, like never satisfied with how I looked, addicted to eating. I would constantly just get lean, get fat, get skinny, get fat. And I was in love with bodybuilding at the time and everything that had to do with physical excellence. And I just didn't look anything like that. Even had a trainer, didn't work. I was following, I had big issues with my body at the time. Probably why I'm so much into fitness. In fact, we're going to talk about this in a second. But then the last drop that eventually just made me totally change the direction in which I was going in life was realizing that I was going through that 9 to 5 path. Many of us, so if you're watching this video, may be aware, that education, university, the jobs, everything is financed by the same people, and so they make us go in like this straight line, like little sheep. Everyone, even the ones that are just sleeping, like half of society today is just fucking sleepy. They're just not. You go through a street, they may as well be sleepy or dead. You may already be aware that there's like this path and that there's the option to not be in this path, but I didn't know for a bunch of my time, and so I studied engineering for a long time, and I did not like what I was studying. I was relatively good at it, but it was like this machine was just pushing me towards a direction that I just didn't want to go. As if someone's, like pushing you to like talk to that girl, and you're like, hey, I don't like that girl, don't me? And then you're there and you just have to like talk to her, and it's like an uncomfortable moment. I wanted to avoid that. And so I became obsessed with reading. I read for the first time when I moved to Germany. I think that was like 5 years ago. So when I was 21, 22, maybe 4 years ago, moved to Germany. And at the time, I bought with myself a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza. Pretty good book, got me to meditation. Meditation got me into reading other books. Meditation and reading got me into just knowing myself. And then with time, at one point, I just realized I don't want to go through this fucking path. This path is just not for me. I need to figure something out. And at the time, I was fully into it. I mean, I was 4 years done with a bachelor's in engineering, and I was about 6 weeks to be done with a master's in engineering and something very similar to mechanical engineering. And I just realized that's just not where I want to go. Fuck talking to the ugly girl. Let me just jump off the boat here. And so I just jumped. And I decided, need to find a good girl, need to find a good job, need to find a good path that aligns with me. And at the time, I didn't know any better that I was bartending, given that I was always in touch with people. When I was analyzing all the skills that I had, which were none, when you're in your 20s at the beginning, we just don't have sufficient experience to be good at many things, right? What am I good at? I was thinking, I'm good at exercising. I'm good at cooking. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at connecting with people, like those classic things that you tell yourself when you're bad at everything. So those 4 things that at the time seemed very small, they were all I had to play with. And so I decided to move from engineering to becoming a salesperson, working and making sales online with the idea that hopefully I can travel while I do this thing. Now, with time, as I was selling, as I changed jobs, as I sold multiple different things, as I started with some friends, a brotherhood in Barcelona, I realized that for me personally, it wasn't just about not following the 9 to 5 life. It wasn't just about not having a boss. It wasn't just about working online, but it was about living from my passion. So this is the path that I'm in right now, right? The path of living from my passion. This is why I have had to totally transform myself. I am no longer the version that was addicted to weed, to food. I'm no longer the version that was scared of girls. I'm no longer the version that was scared of selling and scared of rejection and being liked. I'm just Arnau. I've totally redesigned myself. But at this point, you may ask, well, how do you redefine yourself? Or if anything, when thinking about making a living from your passion, given that it may be something that you may have already thought of, maybe. Well, to begin with, everyone values things differently, and everyone has different sets of skills. From birth, we are already genetically conditioned to have some skills over others. Then with time, you also develop some skills. For example, I have developed a lot of charisma and a lot of a capacity to connect with people, given that when I was a kid, I always felt so insecure, and I was always like felt so unseen, and I always just had to develop that ability to be charismatic, to be funny, to be open, to be honest, to be able to speak, right? So that people would pay attention to me. Well, those are skill sets that I've developed. That's why I'm getting good at sales now, and that's why I do sales, which is quite intimate to me. But for me, recently, I've realized that I don't just want to be good at something, but that I want to reach my potential. I want to see how far I can go, right? And I don't want to reach my potential in any way. I want to reach my potential authentically. I want to reach my potential in areas that are close to me. And that's what I call being a powerful person. A powerful person would be someone that has the resources available to them, and therefore also the energy and the will, right? The discipline to make a choice, so that whenever they want something, they just get it. The faster that you can get what you want, the more powerful you are. And in that journey, energy, will, resources, energy plays an important fucking role. And so with time, I've realized that for me to become a really powerful person, I have to be doing things that energize me. And I have to be cultivating my energy in this body. Therefore, just thinking about, and not even thinking, just feeling, right? Whenever you take an action, you get feedback. What you just did right now, did that make you feel guilty? Or did that make you feel enthusiastic, happy, proud of yourself, wanting to do more? This is the best feedback that you can ever get. Teachers, fears, insecurities. Guys, do you know I am so scared today? I am scared to death to this day of being average. I fucking had a conversation with a friend of mine on the phone. We were talking about how this other friend of mine had just, made a big achievement, a big physical achievement. And this fucking friend of mine says on the phone, Arnau, yeah, I mean, he just did this, but to be honest, given that it's his job and given that he's been doing this for 12 years, I don't even think he looks that good. People will always doubt our status, right? If you are average, even if it's on the top side of average, good is the enemy of great, for sure. For sure. And then I was in the gym the other day, and I was looking at the personal trainers in the gym. The personal trainers in the gym, even though some of them are strong, they just have fucking average clients. I don't want to be working with average clients. Average leads to more average. Good doesn't lead to great coming to ask you for questions. You have to be above the great for the great to come to you. There's just levels to everything. I am so scared of average, of living an average lifestyle, of having an average amount of freedom, of having average relationships, friendships with my girl, of having an average amount of energy. People are fucking sleeping. You go to the streets, people may as well be just sleepwalking. They may be dead. They're just on the phone, just fucking scrolling on the new trends and on the new news, and they're just fucking addicted to just the shortcut and the comfort. People are just... It's a bit disgusting, the state of where the world is at. People like you and I, who care about what I'm sharing, have such an advantage at the attitude and desire level that all it takes is to align ourselves in a way that is intimate to us so that we can push and just get what we want in a powerful, authentic way. I'm not just scared of being average. I'm scared of having a 9-to-5 job forever. I love my 9-to-5 job. They sponsor me. They're paying for my races. I get to work from anywhere in the world while I make money. I fucking love them. They're fantastic people. If I have to be there for more than 3 to 5 years, I am a failure. I'm so scared. So scared of being a failure. Imagine everything that I'm sharing right now. Imagine if in 10, 15 years for me, I'm just the could have been person. Oh, Arnau just had all this ambition. Arnau just had all this attitude, all this fire in him. He's trained that much. But to be honest, he doesn't even look that well. He doesn't, it's his job. He's been doing this for 15 years. I go to the gym just 2 times a week and I look kind of the same. Fuck being a failure, guys. I don't want those people talking about me. Do you think I don't use that as fuel to train to my workouts, to my day-to-day, to fucking work? We need to use the circumstances that occur to just fuel our action. But we can only fuel our action in areas that are intimate to us. That's why I am seeking for physical mastery. The thing that I want the most and that I seek the most, I don't seek it on purpose. I probably seek it in a more subconscious way, but it's confidence. And the only thing that gives me confidence in the world, because to be honest, guys, sometimes I'm still that little kid. Yeah, whenever I break my word, whenever I open that ice cream can, whenever I say that I'm going to do this and I don't do it, or I do something else that it's not as hard as what I had said, whenever I fail, but because I quit it at something, let's say that I decided to stretch a certain amount of time and then I cut it shorter, whenever I smoked weed again and I go back to being an addict, bro, my confidence levels just go down so much that I go back to being that insecure kid. I go back to being that fat kid that can't do shit. So what I seek is confidence. The difference between the guy that sees the beautiful girl or the mentor and just goes, talks to them and just changes their whole life by just fucking going and get it, and the guy that just stays there and looks at the beautiful girl and looks at the ass and he's like, oh, that's such a good ass, instead of just fully enjoying the moment and fully just going, approaching the woman and just having fun with that feminine energy and just like energizing himself and becoming more open in chest and just posture in mind, and the one that transcends life and his limitations. That difference, it's confidence. And confidence to me, again, it doesn't come from how I look. As I said, sometimes I go back to being that fucking kid and I don't like myself. In fact, most of the time, I don't like how I look. Even when I look at my best, I don't like how I look, and I only like how I look in retrospective. I'm like, I look good at that time. I look good in December. My confidence comes from how I define success. And how do I define success? Success to me is constantly pushing myself and reaching new personal bests. That's it. And so my days are fully structured so that I can, in everything that I do today, be at my personal best. So many people dream about what they want and their objectives and how well they will be in the future, how much of a winner they're going to be in the future. I feel like very few people decide to win at their current level. Whatever that means for you, there's a current level at which you could win and you could excel and you could not be average. I have it very clearly, and my fear of average has pushed me into choosing to push myself every single day physically. And I can only do it physically. It's the only thing right now that I can think about the circumstances that occur and just push me. It has to be intimate. Many people lack the commitment and destroy their relationships and just change habits, go back to old patterns because they're not committed. And they're not committed because they're not close enough to what they chose. There has to be a strong level of intimacy with your objectives in order to be disciplined. A strong level. And that has to come from the objectives being close, not to your love side, not to your, oh, I just love the idea of freedom. It has to be close to your dark side, because fears are fantastic teachers. Use them. use them to become whoever you want to become. What I want to do with this channel and why I believe that you should stay, and by the way, I never fucking say it, but if you have been getting value from what I've shared, if you've liked how I speak, if you like my philosophy and how I approach life, I would truly value if you subscribed. This helps me so much, not just to see what works, but then also to, in the future, have an audience and be able to live from my passion and be able to bring people come to me and come to where I live. I'm going to be living in the mountains in a few years, and just push people, right? Push you, run in the mornings, lift in the evening, show you how I stretch my routines, give you food from the animals that me and my girl would just have in the house, be around nature, have fun, go to the river, the cold river, take a cold plunge, truly transcend what we believe we are capable of. So subscribe. My intention with this channel is to share my journey. I was just so small for so long to now. I don't fucking care about anything else than fulfilling my mission, fulfilling my passion, living with passion. The returns, the rewards of this journey of seeking your power, of seeking my power, the returns of this journey are unimaginable. Passion. Do you know what it is like to live with passion? Every single day. Direction. Do you know what it is to live with direction? The clarity for what comes next. The faith in your progress. The friendships that comes with having a clear direction. The women that want to be with you because they trust you, because you stick to your word and to your commitment to that direction. The love, the energy that you get, not just from having to engineer your life so you can truly fulfill that passion and that powerful version of you, so you can achieve what you want and what you have said that you want to achieve, and so you can gather the resources, the skills, the knowledge, the people, so you can get where you want to go, but also just from doing things that are intimate to you, the energy. Fucking it's a pleasure for me. It's a gift for me. It's a present for me to be disciplined, to wake up at 4 every single day. Do you think it's easy? No. But do I think that waking up at 8 a.m. is gonna get me somewhere? No way. No fucking way. Yeah? So the energy that you get, the anger, the love, the words, the respect from other people, the confidence. I can't even remember, guys, what it was like to not be confident. And you know what? The journey never ends. I'm gonna have a race in 12 days. I'm gonna finish that race. My aim, by the way, is 12 hours and 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, I'm gonna have a new baseline of what I'm capable of. And then there's gonna be a new height, a new standard is going to be set, and then there's going to be a new goal, which is going to be harder, it's going to require more sacrifices. Life is just more fun, guys, when you decide that you want to live and to push yourself towards your authentic potential. I invite you with my videos, with my words, with my journey to take responsibility for everything that you're doing so that you can achieve that confidence, so you can be fulfilled with yourself, so you can be happy about the masterpiece of a life that you're creating instead of creating someone else's masterpiece. We're come here to create. I think that whatever God is, it's all in here. You have it fucking at the tip of your nose. You can see God when you look at the mirror. All the responsibility, all the feelings of transcendence, of enlightenment, everything that you talk about, it's fucking here. You're God, I'm God, you're me, I'm you. We're not so different. So I invite you for this journey of love, of passion, of obsession, of energy. I invite you into your own journey of power and in that journey of achieving your potential. I hope that this channel helps you not just be inspired, be motivated, because that's fucking momentaneous, but rather to take responsibility, to stake more on yourself, to trust yourself, and to become a true master of yourself, starting with your physique. This is the vessel that we come into the world with. I love you all, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Subscribe.